modal auxiliary verbs. Modals are different from other types of verbs. They are also helping verbs, but they are free from subject-verb agreement, means they do not change their form whether the subject is singular or it is plural. And they are also free from tenses. They remain the same despite the above mentioned reasons. What is the function of modal auxiliary? They change the shade of meaning of a sentence. Changing a modal in a sentence may not make it grammatically incorrect, but it changes the shade of meaning. For example, I say it will rain means I'm expressing a certainty that it will rain. If I say it may rain, I am not so sure. I'm expressing a probability. Let us look at some more examples that express the shade of meaning. If I say he can pass examinations, it exhibits his ability to pass examinations. But if I say he may pass examinations, it expresses a probability that he may pass or he may not pass. Let's look at some more examples. Here the sentence is the same, but only by changing the modal, the meaning of the sentence undergoes a change. Rashmi will go to the post office. Surely she will expresses certainty. Rashmi can go to the post office expresses her ability to go. Rashmi may go to the post office expresses a probability. But Rashmi might go to the post office expresses a remote possibility that most likely she will not go. Rashmi should go to the post office expresses a strong advice. Rashmi must go to the post office expresses an imperative that she must. There is no other way out. Rashmi ought to go to the post office expresses a moral obligation. Let us look at the usages of the modal can. This same modal may be used to express different things. If I say I can cook, I am expressing my ability to cook. If I say can I go, I am asking for permission to go. If I say you can go, I am giving the permission to a person to go. Let us look at the different usages of the modal will. The modal will is used to express the future. If I say I will go to the market, implies that I will go in future. It implies that I have planned to do something. It will rain tonight suggests a prediction. So the modal will expresses either a plan or a prediction. Other usage is intention. If I say I will cover your books, implies that I am willing to do it. I have the intention to do that. I will help you suggests an intention. I will do it or I shall quit means that I am determined that I will do so and so work, otherwise I will quit. If I want to make a promise, how will I use will? I will do it properly the next time. This suggests a promise. I will help you complete the project means that I am committed to help you, which is also a promise. Will expresses certainty. It will definitely rain. She will surely come. The usage of will along with you indicates an invitation or a request. Will you make some tea for me? Will you lend me your book for a week? Shall. Let's understand where shall is used. Shall is used with the first person. For example, when shall we go to the movie? We is the first person pronoun. I shall meet you tomorrow. I is the first person pronoun. But shall can also be used along with second and third persons. And when I do that, it expresses a command, a promise, or a threat. For example, you shall not scribble on the walls again. I am giving a warning. I am commanding. I shall return the book tomorrow. I am making a promise. You shall be punished if you don't come on time is a threat. What happens when I reverse the order of I shall to shall and I? Let's have a look. Shall plus I or shall plus we are used to ask the will of the person addressed. Example, shall I give her your book? It means that, do you want me to give her your book? Which dress shall I buy? It means, what is your advice regarding this dress? Shall we go for a walk? Makes a suggestion. The usage of the modal can or could. The modal auxiliary can and could express ability or capacity. It is one usage of this modal. Can expresses ability of the present time. If I say I can cook food, means I know how to cook food and I can cook it in the present time also. Let's look at some other examples. I can play golf. She can sing melodiously. These examples talk about the ability or the capacity of a person. Could. The modal auxiliary could expresses the ability of the past, means something which could be done by me in the past, that ability is lost now. Examples. When I was younger, I could walk 10 miles on foot. I'm older now. I do not have that capacity anymore. I could pass through this hole when I was a child. Now I'm grown up and I can't do it now. I can use can to make a request. Can you get me a glass of water? Can you shut the windows, please? I can use could also to make requests, but could is just a more polite form of can. For example, could you lend me your book for 2 days? It's a polite request. Could you sit down? Could you give me a piece of chalk? Should and would are used as the corresponding past forms of shall and will in reported speech. She said she would meet the principal the next day. The modals may and might express probability. For example, the sky is overcast with clouds. It may rain. It may rain or it may not rain. She may come, or she may not come. So, may expresses a 50-50 chance. Let's look at some more examples of may. She may go to see the doctor tomorrow. There is a possibility that she might go. He may meet the director tomorrow. Again, there is a possibility. Usage of might. It might rain, but most probably it will not rain because there is a remote possibility. She might come. Most probably she will not come. Hence, might expresses a remote possibility, means that the likelihood of this happening is very less. Let's see what words can be used to seek permission. May and might are polite words used for asking permission. Haven't you often used this? May I come in? May I leave now? May I clear your table? Might is used in extremely polite situations. For example, might I show my presentation now? Let us look at the usage of can when it is used in question type of sentences, that is, interrogative and negative sentences. For example, can he play cricket? I am asking a question. He cannot run so fast. Let us compare the following. He cannot go there. He may not go there. Let us see what is the difference between the two. Cannot denotes impossibility, while may not denotes unlikelihood or improbability. It is not impossible, but it is difficult that it might become possible. Can and may both can be used for granting permission. For example, you can go. You may go. The modal may is also used to express a wish. For example, may God bless you. May all your dreams come true. We make use of should to give a strong advice or recommendation. For example, you should study if you want to score well. You should buy some gold for your daughter's wedding. I am giving an advice to a person here. The modal must is even stronger in tone because It refers to an advice that cannot be avoided. For example, you must take your medicines regularly. Otherwise, what will happen? You will fall sick. You must get your insurance policy renewed on time. Otherwise, it will lapse. So, it is a situation that is mandatory. It cannot be avoided. The modal would is used as the reported speech form of will or shall. She said that she would meet the principal the next day. She expected she would do well in the test. Some other usages of would are: it is a polite form of will. Would you attend the meeting tomorrow? Would you hold this for me? They are both polite forms. The modal would can also be used. The modal would can also be used to make wishes of the future. Let us first see how we make wishes of the present time. I wish there were better facilities in my college. Means I am studying in college and I wish or I hope that the facilities in my college were better than what they are now. Wishes of the past. I wish there had been better facilities in my college. When I was a student, it means the facilities have improved in the present time, but they were not like this when I was studying, that is in the past. Wishes of the future. I wish there would be better facilities in my college. They are not good as of now, but I wish that thing to happen in the future. The modal ought to expresses a moral obligation, means you are not legally bound by it, but you are bound by your morality or values. We ought to obey our elders. She ought to look after her sick mother. We ought to do our duty. You ought to work hard to get a first class. Ought to can also be used to express probability. For example, the instructions given by the faculty member ought to be useful, expresses probability. Used to, the auxiliary used to, is used to talk about habitual actions of the past. For example, I used to play golf every week when I was a boy. It is a past habit. I do not have this habit now. Need expresses necessity or an obligation. When need goes with do, it does not have the S or ed forms. For example, I don't need to use those medicines. Do you need to go there? Let us see the usage of need along with the to form of verb, that is the infinitive. With the to form, that is infinitive, it takes the forms needs or needed. One needs to be cautious while driving. Dare. Dare is an auxiliary verb which means brave enough. It is generally used in negative and interrogative sentences. For example, how dare you take my book? As an ordinary verb, dare means challenge. For example, I dare you to jump over this wall. When dare or do plus infinitive with or without to after it is used, then this is the usage. She doesn't dare to contradict me. That's all for today. Meet you in the next class where I will teach you the main verbs,